Hi, welcome again to Word Crumbs. This month of September, I'd like to dedicate it to listening to the Psalms of the liturgy of the church. You know, every day, if we go to Mass or if we are attending it online uh, during these days of pandemic, we would notice there's always a first reading, a psalm, and a gospel. And this month, I'd just like to invite everybody to accompany me to try to enter into the spirit of the readings through the Psalms, especially through the response that we say in the liturgy of the Mass. Because somehow the Psalm is a response, or the response that the church invites us to, to carry in our hearts, to say it with our lips, but also to believe it in our hearts as a response to the readings that are being presented of the day, especially in the first reading. So if you like, it is like an easy access to the spirit of the readings whenever we listen to or we read the readings of the day. So yeah, I would just like to invite you to join me during this time, and we can try to explore how to understand the spirit of the readings through the psalm, and also to carry it in a very simple way with us during the day. Now, today's psalm is taken from Psalm 52, and this is the response that we are invited to meditate on and to contemplate in our lives. I trust in the mercy of God forever. Now, I really love to meditate on the response in the responsorial psalms because it gives us like a little piece of the Word of God that we can just chew on the whole day. You know, in our community verbum day, our founder used to call prayer like the mastication of the cows. You know, the cows, when they eat grass, they chew on it, of course, side to side, their mouths go like that, and then they swallow it. And after they swallow it, they regurgitate again, and they keep chewing on that same grass or pasture that they are able to eat. So somehow prayer, meditative prayer, contemplative prayer with the Word of God is this constant chewing on the Word of God, just a small little verse like this one that we see here, and to allow it to keep going into our hearts. It comes back out into our daily lives, perhaps when we are working, perhaps when we are waking up, doing our chores, perhaps when we are with people. And then it's an easy way to remember the Word of God, to ponder the Word of God during the whole day as it goes into our hearts, comes out again to daily life. We put it back into our hearts again to ponder, bring it out again. So yeah, I find this would be a very exciting journey this month if we would just take these verses of the response to ponder and to regurgitate and to keep chewing on during the whole day as a way of staying in the presence of God, as a way of drawing out the juice of the grass, no? Drawing out the juice of the Word of God into our hearts to strengthen our faith and also to allow God to come accompany us with His presence, with His love, and also the help that He offers us, the light and the strength through the Word of God. Okay, so this is the verse for today. I trust in the mercy of God forever. I invite you really to spend time on each word. I trust in the mercy of God forever. Ponder it intellectually, ponder it also affectively, with affection, with feeling. Trust, mercy forever. I find these the key words for me today. Mercy. Mercy is something that we do not merit. It's something that God gives not because we earned it, not because we deserve it, and sometimes not even because we ask for it. Mercy is given unconditionally. Love, kindness, the help of God comes in the form of mercy. So the psalm today invites us to trust in that mercy of God. Trust because God will love you, will help you, will be close to you, not because you deserve it, not because you ask for it, but because He wants to. And so that is the fidelity of God that we are meant to draw in today. I trust. And when I say I trust, it is an act of faith that we are invited to do today. I invite you to pray this in your heart, and say it to yourself and to God. I trust in the mercy of God. I trust in the mercy of God. Do you trust in the mercy of God? God has been merciful to you before. He will be merciful to you today, and He will be merciful to you forever. And so this is a commitment of the psalmist, the one who wrote this psalm, to say that I will trust in Him, and not just today, but tomorrow and forever. Now let us just look at the verses of the psalm today, verse 8 and 9, that help to support this response that we are invited to give to God, not just to the Mass or to prayer, but really to give to God, to His Word. Now, these are the words of today. I, like a green olive tree in the house of God, trust in the mercy of God forever and ever. So it's not just forever, but forever and ever. So, I had a chance to be in Madrid once. And in Madrid, the olive trees are everywhere. And they're all green, they're bearing fruit. And olive oil is really much cheaper over there because it's so abundant. This image of the olive tree and a green olive tree is the sign of a person who trusts in God, somebody who will always stay young, green, some young at heart at least, somebody who will stay trustful and flourish and never go dry because he learns or she learns to trust in the mercy of God. So it's also a kind of petition. Lord, teach me to trust you today and tomorrow, and help me to trust you whatever comes today, tomorrow, and forever. And then the next verse, it says, I will thank you always for what you have done and proclaim the goodness of your name before your faithful ones. I will thank you always for what you have done. One way to grow in trust is to thank God. One of the best and most beautiful prayers that we can do is thanksgiving. As we say, count your blessings, but really count them and spend time to thank God for each one of them. I will thank you always for what you have done. When we are conscious of what God has done for us, not only 10 years ago, not only in the beginning of our lives, but just yesterday, just today, that I am alive, that I have health, that I am breathing, that I can speak, that I can communicate, that I can love, that I can be loved by somebody. There's so many little gifts that we can give thanks to God for each day. The very fact of being able to live and to live with others. So I will thank you always for what you have done, and that will help us to grow in our trust in God, to proclaim the goodness of your name before your faithful ones. And don't just thank God personally, make an act of thanking God in front of others. Maybe praying with them, or maybe sharing with them how good God has been to you. So all these are little gestures that we can do in order to grow in trust. Thanking God personally and thanking God with others, or in the presence of others, so that we can grow in trust. But all this I'm saying is just to go back to that responsorial verse that we invited to meditate on this day. I trust in the mercy of God forever. Let us meditate on this and ask ourselves, will I and how can I trust in the mercy of God forever?